Well, I'm back. And I know what you're thinking. This is going to be the part where here I come. It's been what, 6 months, a year since I posted that first video saying, hey, I'm back. I'm going to take it seriously. Here's what we're going to do. Boom. That was 6 months ago. And if you noticed 6 months before that, I'm sure it was the same thing. Now, granted, about a year ago, I had a little event that took me out of play for a while. You know, so that's an event that kind of took me out of for a little while. But that's a story for a different day, perhaps. I don't know. And it was just a constant cycle of I want to do something, took care of stuff. I got plenty of time to do something and made nothing. Nothing. But something's happened. Things have changed. Things have changed. The election happened. Yep. And I know I am probably the 4 millionth person on here that is saying the election. Let's unpack that. Let's talk about that. So if you're even watching this, you've already heard everything else. It's not going to be anything to do. I think a congratulations is in order. I want to say congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations goes out to President-elect Trump.
Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. And I'll tell you, people were crying.
You have cured my motivational paralysis. You have taken my motivational paralysis of every time I sit down, I write a script, I get stuff set up, and then it's time to hit record, and I'm just like, but in the aftermath of what happened, I've got a sudden charge of I need to be up here. I've got a sudden charge of what I need to talk about. The country needs voices like mine right now. And I can't just sit here and not say anything and watch everything around me fall apart without at least getting up here and saying something. I got to say something. And I struggled with how I sounded on these things because I did. You would not believe the amount of actual videos that I sat down and I filmed them. I have hours upon hours of video files sitting on my laptop of stuff I filmed that you'll never see. And there's a good reason for that. Because I know most people don't like the sound of their voice. Most people listen to it and they're like, oh, I don't really sound like that. I've never been one to have that problem. Just kind of a full of myself thing to say. I guess I shouldn't say it like that. But the thing that I've struggled with is, I'm like, okay, I'm doing videos that are fact-based. So I have a specific list of facts I need to hit. I don't want to just ramble. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to make sure I get all the facts straight. So I would have a script, and then I would read the script. And then when I'm listening to it back, to me, I sound too robotic. I don't want to sound robotic. I want to sound like I sound like to myself. I want to sound like I don't want to sound like I'm up here, getting up here. Okay, here's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn this, and this is what happened. This is what happened. I don't want to feel like I'm up here lecturing you. I want to feel like I'm talking to you like I'm a person, because I'm a person. Look, I'm real. I'm a person, and I wanted these videos to come off that way. So I switched up my technique. I realized that I'm gonna have to go with an outline technique. I'm gonna have to just have like a generic, kind of a broad outline of, hey, I want to hit this talking point and this talking point, and then I can just say whatever I want about those talking points. That way I don't come off as robotic. That way I don't have to worry about getting all my thoughts out on the page, and I can just go. So that's what we're gonna do. And that made me also come to the realization of what I need to get up here and talk about. In order to do that, I'm not going to be able to get up here and just tell you fact-based stories about things. So let's get into what I got to say up here. Guys, do better. I am a 43-year-old husband, married to my middle school sweetheart, father, 3 kids, 2 of which are daughters. So being all that, I fall right into that category of people that should be affected by the stereotype of turning far right conservative in my old age. I don't like to refer to myself as old, but I'm 43. I'm going to be old to most people around me. But here's the thing. Here's something weird. That didn't happen to me. I'm far from the mid 40s radicalized white guy. I am a 43-year-old husband, father, cisgender, heterosexual white man who believes in equality for all humans. I believe anybody should be able to live the way they want to live as long as it's not hurting anybody. And what people do in their houses when I'm not there, it doesn't hurt me. And I don't know why you conservatives think it hurts you so bad. Well, I know that's not true. I know why you think it hurts you all so bad. And we'll get to that. I've been really, in the past month, reflecting kind of deeply on what the results of the election really said for the country. And it's not just, oh, another election went by, we've elected another president. You know, I was born the same year that Reagan came along and ruined it. So I've seen many a president come, I've seen many president go. This one's just different this time. I really had to reflect on what the results of this election meant for the women in our lives. And I came to a realization that what this election said, it sent a message to those women in our lives that was very loud and very clear to them. That's that their rights and their safety and their voices don't matter as much as they really should. Because guess what? We're all the same. We're all humans. They're just as much human as we are. We're all the same species of the planet Earth is what we are. Guys, you got to do better. I'm just supremely disappointed in what this message sent out to the world. It told the world and it told everybody in this country that there are 40 million men in this country that had absolutely no issue, probably actually felt some kind of weird pride in going to that voting booth and picking Trump, and that's a problem. 40 million men are completely okay with the idea that the women around them, their moms, their sisters, their wives, their daughters, their grandmothers, say what you will or be who you are, you have a woman in your life or somebody that identifies as a woman in your life. You're not completely, unless you're living in on the top of some mountain somewhere with other monks, which is possible. Hey, that's fine. You are around women, and there are women that are up until this election were important to you, but they're not important to you anymore. That's what you've shown. And you can say that, oh, just because I vote for Trump don't mean I don't love my wife. Well, no, it kind of does. You don't get to hide behind that anymore. It's not just, oh no, no, it's different. 40 million men were completely okay with telling all the other women,
hey, I don't care about you, and I have no problem making a choice that means that you can't make a choice about your bodily autonomy, about your rights, about your health. It doesn't matter to me. I'm a guy. It's a guy's country now.
I have a problem with that. I am not one of those guys. 40 million men were okay with saying out loud that just because they don't understand or they don't like, or if you ask me, quite frankly, they're scared of any person who isn't a cis, heterosexual, white, beer loving, God fearing, truck driving man like they are, that you don't matter. And that you need to do what they do. Let me tell you something. I am a cis hetero white man. I don't drive a truck. I hate country music. I don't drink beer. And I know I can already hear the little fingers going and the comments coming up. You can call me a soy boy. You can call me a soft boy. You can call me, I don't care what you call me. It doesn't matter to me at all. I get up every day. I take care of my family. I'm a stay-at-home dad. What do you think about that? I'm a stay-at-home dad. My wife is the one who gets up and goes to work. And she's damn good at her job. And her job is important. And I take care of them. Here, I don't have to bring home a paycheck to take care of them. She's fulfilling her job, and that fulfills me. Because she's damn good at her job, and her job is important. And that's important to me. You guys You know what? And I'm not even just going to pick on the guys anymore. We're going to bring those 80s back into it. Now, I'm going to put a little disclaimer on this before I say it. I understand that there was, I can't say it's an insignificant, there had to have been a significant portion of the women and people that identify as women that went in that voting booth and voted for Trump under duress. I understand that, and I'm sorry. But hashtag divorce your Republican husband. But even with that statistic, there had to have been a chunk of them that were proud of it, and I probably know a few of them that were proud of it. I live in a very small town in a very red state. I've seen them. I've seen these people. So we're just going to lump you in with the guys. There was a way too large chunk of people in this country that were like, hey, since you don't live your life the way I want you to, and I don't understand it, and you're not doing the things that we do because this book that we've been force fed our entire life that was written hundreds of years ago by people that didn't understand where the sun went at night says that that's wrong. So I say that's wrong. So it makes it wrong. That doesn't sit with me. We got to let that go, guys. God, don't even hit me with Christian Science. That's not a thing. Those don't belong in the same, not even the same breath. I'm not at all for living in a country that looks like it's doing its best to become the very thing that my grandfather fought to prevent. Out here banning books and things like that. I can't anymore. It's not going to work. Staying silent is not an option anymore. Now I know. Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm a guy with a camera calling himself Tony Stonk who's up here telling you, hey, I'm mad. You know, I can think of 2 people off the top of my head right now that are going to probably see this video for now. Or any subsequent video I make. But I can't just sit here. I gotta try. I gotta do something. And if anything, I want something like this to come out, and I want people to see it, and I want other people like me that may be in my situation that everybody automatically thinks, oh, they're a bigot. I'm with you, dude. We're not all those guys, and I'll stand beside anybody. We'll fight them because that is the one upside about this whole thing is I'm seeing a real movement of people that are starting to realize that silence is no longer an option. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Well, we just don't talk about it. Yeah, my buddy, yeah, he's a Trumper, but, and I don't like it, but we just don't talk about it. We hang out, we just talk about it. Or, yeah, my family, they're real right wingers. We just don't talk about it. That's not going to work anymore. That's no longer the world we can live in. We have to talk about it. It is time to talk about it. It's time to cut those people out of your life. It's time to show them that if they have no problem making that choice, then they have to realize that choice has consequences. You can choose that vote, but when you choose that vote, you're not just voting for a president. You are showing me that, hey, I'm not safe. People you may care about, I don't care about them. They're not safe around me, which means you're not safe around me. You no longer have access to that. I've been seeing on social media a lot the past few days about conservatives crying on Elon's conservative squawk box that, oh, they uninvited me from Thanksgiving, or they told me they're not coming because they know I voted for Trump and that's not fair, blah, blah, blah. This is your fault. You made this choice. You can't have your cake and eat it too anymore. You can't be like, oh, yeah, we're cool. It's one day a month, and I can screw up the next 4 years of your life, but it's fine. We'll be fine. We just won't talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it. You get uninvited. You don't get to have access to us. You're no longer worthy of our time. Don't go. You don't have to go. You owe these people nothing. Show them. Tell them, because we can't just not talk about it. You have to hold them accountable for their choice, because that's how we got here in the first place, was not talking about it. I also see in those same social media posts people complaining that politics is bleeding into other aspects of their life. Like, I watched a video about people on Book Talk complaining that, oh, I'm getting unfollowed because this set of people, I told people that I support Trump, and now they're leaving. I thought this is like a space where we didn't have to worry about where we used to come here and talk about books. You don't get to do that anymore, because this is not just, oh, I made a choice that you didn't like, and oh well. This is a bigger choice. This is a choice that is a hateful choice. It's a hateful choice. You've told people that you don't matter to me. Well, then guess what? It doesn't get to be like it anymore. You don't get to have those spaces anymore, because you've made that your whole personality. You've made that your whole aesthetic, and it's a flag. It's a literal Trump flag, and that means you don't get to come in. You don't get to play anymore. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. You made your choice. You know, and I'm not going to change your mind that, hey, you need to accept that LGBTQ plus IA people are real. They're just as real as you are. They're just as real as I am. And they're people. And they're people around us. And they're our loved ones. I have nothing but gigantic respect for somebody that was able to realize that, hey, I'm not comfortable in my body. And is able to come to that realization and grapple with that thought process, and given everything in front of them, be able to try to live who they are. That's awesome. Because I know it's tough. I will support you. Conservatives, you don't get to come around us anymore, because I'm cis hetero white man. So you're okay with me, but I'm not okay with you, because you're not going to be okay with people that I care about. So you don't get to hang. So here's what I want you to do. Going forward, realize we have to have the conversations. And if you don't want to have the conversations, that's fine, because I know sometimes it can be exhausting trying to tell these brainwashed red hats anything. I know it's exhausting. And if you don't want to have that conversation, you do not have to have that conversation. Cut them off. You can cut them off, because not having them around you and having them drain you emotionally and, physically, spiritually, whatever, it's going to be better to push them away than it is to have them coming in here and draining you and draining you. We have to send them a message that it's not okay anymore. We have to talk about it. Cut off your family members. Tell them. Tell your friends. Have that conversation. Be like, hey, sorry, but this is the world we live in now. Just like after 9/11, how you couldn't just get on a plane anymore. Yeah, it sucked, but guess what? That's the world we live in. Well, now this is the world we live in. Politics has become such a big deal with Trump flags and people yelling on social media about it. You've created this world by even giving this hateful fascist the time of day. So this is a world you created. So now you're going to have to learn to live in it. And you've chosen your side. Now, granted, luckily you're going to be the majority. And there's, 70 million people that you can hang out with. But we're not going to be there. We're not going to be the ones. We're going to fight. So cut them off. People that you follow on social media or whatever, and they're have no problem saying that they're MAGA, they're conservative, unfollow them. Don't give them your clicks, because that's how they get paid. Don't fund that hate machine. Content creators that you know they voted this way and this is how they believe, unfollow them, unsubscribe from them, subscribe to me. Anyway, so this giant rise of celebrities that all of a sudden have no problem saying that they're behind the conservatives. Boycott them. Don't let the people around you guilt you into just not talking about it anymore. Just not talking about it is no longer an option.